Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Saturday soup is a thing in Jamaica, and one of our favorites is chicken soup. But this chicken soup is not your ordinary chicken soup. It's not like a canned soup. It's really good, guys. So stick around and I'll show you how we get that done. The first thing I want to show you is the pumpkin. Now, when you go to the supermarket, you need to look for Jamaican pumpkin or look for a pumpkin that's labeled something from Central or South America, something that has a green skin, not the one that we use for Halloween. That's a totally different, flavor. So what we want to do is scoop out the seeds just like you would do with another pumpkin or squash. Scoop out the seeds, and we're gonna peel the skin, and then you will dice it. That's what you want to do. So there's the skin right there. Notice it's not orange. It's not that type of pumpkin, guys. Now we have our chicken. So I am using mostly drumsticks here. I think I have one thigh in there, but we're gonna rinse this with some cold water and lemon juice or lime or vinegar, okay, just to get it nice and clean and ready for the pot. This is something that we do in Jamaica, and many Caribbean people do this actually, So get that ready. You'll notice the skin is off. Some people leave the skin on sometimes, but I take it off. So wash this and drain it properly, and then we can move on to our next step. I don't cut this, guys. I just leave it whole, because by the time we boil this, it's gonna, break up anyway. So I will be seasoning with my Maggi all-purpose seasoning. If you have the chicken seasoning, you could use a little of that too, but this is fine for me. And sprinkle that on, as well as some black pepper. And it's good to season the chicken so that, once you're eating the soup, the chicken is really flavorful. But if you skip this step, that's also fine. The broth is gonna be really flavorful, so the chicken will absorb all of that. Sometimes when I'm doing it in a rush, I don't season the chicken. Okay, so get a large pot and get your water in there and a little salt, and then you're gonna add the chicken. Okay, after that we're gonna go in with the pumpkin. So this is the same pumpkin, I just diced it, and I also added one large carrot. The reason we're starting off this way is because we want the chicken to start cooking, and we want the bones to cook and give off that nice flavor to the broth. But you want the pumpkin and the carrot to cook and kind of mash out. When it breaks down, it's gonna give the soup a beautiful color, a rich flavor, and it even adds thickness to the soup. So we start off like this. Now, garlic is optional, but I like to add a few pieces, not too much, because you don't want to overpower the soup, but it really adds flavor. And if this is for somebody who is sick, the garlic is really going to help them get better as well. Okay, we are going to take a look at some yellow yam, guys. So if you're not familiar with this, when you go to the West Indian store, ask for yellow yam. Some people know American sweet potatoes as yams. So if you just say yams, you might get the wrong thing. Ask for yellow yam. And this is peeled just like you would a potato or a pineapple. It's just thick-skinned, and I just dice it and put it in some water with lemon juice so that it doesn't get discolored. Sometimes it can turn black or red. So just put it in the water till you're ready. Okay, so after the soup has boiled for that 30 to 35 minutes, I add the yellow yam. There it is. Add that in there, and we're gonna boil this or simmer this some more now. So remember, I added carrot before, but now I'm gonna add even more. The first set of carrot I added because I want that to soften and thicken the soup. This one I'm adding because sometimes you want to have those little bits and pieces of carrot, that are still slightly firm. You want to see them in the soup, right? So I'm still adding some more here. And of course, the wonderful scotch bonnet. If you can add 2, awesome, and some pimento, just a few, really helps with the flavor. Add the green scotch bonnet or yellow or orange. Those give really nice flavor without, extreme heat. So I love to add that. And then we're gonna simmer again or boil it again just to cook the yellow yam. Okay. One trick I want to tell you guys, if you feel like the soup isn't rich in color enough or thick enough, use a slotted spoon and scoop out some of the pumpkin and puree it in like a magic bullet or something like that and add it back to the soup. It will help with body and color. All right, moving on now to the dumplings. So these are really simple to make. I will leave the recipe link in the description below. You can add as many as you want. You can even make them smaller, but they don't take too long to cook. So that is why I'm adding them after the yam. Now I'm gonna go in with some seasoning. So this is the Grace chicken noodle soup mix. However, because I'm using dumplings, I don't necessarily like to add the noodles. So what I'll do is I'll just use a strainer and I actually separate the seasoning from the noodles, and I'll save the noodles for something else. And I just use the seasoning. So this is the seasoning without the noodles. And for this, you wanna add to taste, because remember, everybody's tolerance for salt is different, but this is really nice and flavorful, really good. So you can stir that in and you can give it a taste to see if you need some more. I also found this recently, and this is really good for adding more pumpkin flavor, more color, more richness to your soup. So this has noodles too. I don't need the noodles, just need the seasoning part of it. So I strain, separate, I use a sieve, separate the noodles from the seasoning, just add the seasoning. And remember, you have to taste. So what we're really doing now, guys, is just cooking the dumpling and allowing everything to come together nicely. All right, so you don't need to cook it very long, because look at that. The chicken is falling apart really nicely. The yam is cooked and the soup is perfectly thick, not too thick, not too thin. So guys, I found one corn in the fridge that I had boiled earlier, and I just added it. So this is one thing that we do like to add to our soup sometimes, corn, which I would have added same time as the dumpling. There's so many things that we put in our soup. Sometimes we put Irish potato, sometimes we put chocho, which is called Christophine in some cultures. So there are many options. I don't put corn in my soup very often because I prefer that Jamaican corn versus the sweet corn in my soup, but it is a nice addition. And look at that beautiful color, guys. Just remember that trick. scooping out some of the pumpkin out of the soup and blending it in a little NutriBullet, any small blender you have, and then adding it back to the soup. You'll get that really nice smooth pumpkin flavor, and the texture is really nice. So good. So let's share some soup, guys. Tell me in the comment section below, do you like a lot of dumplings? Do you prefer to put spinners? Spinners are just some tiny skinny dumplings, guys. If you've seen my flour dumpling video, the boiled dumpling video, I do show you spinners. They are just some tiny dumplings that we like to add to our stews and soups in Jamaica. Tell me in the comment section if you like to add spinners, or if you like a round dumpling. Let me know if there are other things that you add to your chicken soup when you're making it. This is really delicious, guys, and it's so comforting. Right now it is fall, so it's getting a little bit cooler and it's getting close to, you know, cold and flu season. So this is something that you really wanna prepare for your family. It's really delicious and nutritious as well. So the next time you want some soup, guys, try this Jamaican style chicken soup. Forget about the canned soup. Try this one. I know you are gonna love it. And my island people that have this kind of soup on the regular, you know how good this is. It is so delicious. So remember, guys, make sure you pick the right pumpkin, and make sure you try that tip that I gave you with taking out some of the pumpkin and pureeing it and adding it back to the soup. It really helps. I hope you enjoy the recipe, and let me know once you try it out. Let me know if you like it. Till next time, take care, guys.